Hello, my name is Dr. Denise Franowski, and this is this week's A Dose from Dr. Denise, where I hope to teach, show, and inspire you how to release your God-given health and life potential. So I am back from vacation, just got back from the kennel, picking up our dog and doing 3 and 4 loads of laundry today, all the normal stuff we do on our first day back. And I have a good message to share with you today. I want to share with you how to not hate Mondays. And then I have a really, really good metaphor of something that happened to us in Mexico that I want to share with you. My goal is to raise the vibration of the planet one person at a time, and that's why I record these videos. If they are inspiring to you or if the message resonates with you, then like my page, A Dose from Dr. Denise, and share the message with others. I record one each week and I post it on Sundays. So I'm just getting back from a week vacation in Playa Car, Mexico. It is about 45 minutes south of Cancun, and we started going to this particular resort 22 years ago. I was in chiropractic college, getting ready to graduate, and it was just a short trip from Houston to Cancun and to this resort, and you know, we've been going ever since. Just a beautiful, beautiful place. And of course, vacation is something so wonderful. My mom always says you have to have someone to love, something to do, and something to look forward to. So of course, vacation is something that we look forward to. And getting back into the daily routine can be really hard. I've remembered times coming back, in particular when my boys, I knew coming back meant they were leaving for college on each of their individual times doing that. That coming back to real life was really, really hard. But what I did is I wrote down some notes about what is wonderful about vacation that we could incorporate in our everyday Monday through Friday life. You know, living to just get to Friday and enjoy our weekends and then getting back to the grind every Monday is no way to live. The highest percentage of heart attacks occur on Monday, which is not surprising. When we were on vacation, we were sitting at breakfast one morning and there was a woman that wore a shirt that said, "Hate Mondays." It wasn't just bad enough that it would say, "I hate Mondays," but hate Mondays as in all of you join with me to hate Mondays. And you know, hating Mondays is a choice that you have chosen to do, and there's just simply no reason to, because it doesn't make you feel any better and it doesn't help life. So what are some things about vacation, in particular the one that we go on in Mexico, that I just find to be so amazing? The first is, you know, limited social media. Although I posted on my Facebook page some pictures, overall I kept that phone either back in the room or in our beach bag. And there was something spectacular about it, about not hearing dings and whistles and emails going off or text messages or scrolling with my thumb through ad nauseum social media. We spend 116 minutes a day on social media. That's the average. And the average teenager spends something like 7 or 8 hours a day in front of a screen. And as much as we've benefited from our phones, I think especially the older we get, the more we realize that there's a lot of things that are not beneficial to us. So putting that phone away was pretty glorious, and certainly you could incorporate that into your Monday through Friday work week and life, and having specific rules, you know, that as soon as you walk in from the door from work, if it allows with work, that you don't need to be on your phone, that the phone goes away. Or, you know, even being respectful to your bosses. You know, you shouldn't be on the phone while you're at work, so that phone goes in your purse or your briefcase or in your drawer. So limiting phone on our times on our phone was really, really awesome this week. I love this place that we go into, Mexico, because it is simply beautiful. Whether it's the animals or the birds or the ocean or the flowers or the people. When we go on vacation, we all resonate with going to a lake or a beach or camping or the mountains. We resonate being out in nature. And certainly there's something about that you can bring in through your Monday through Friday life, in particular if you work indoors. But I have moved to Beaumont, Texas. I think if you asked anybody who lived in Beaumont, is this the prettiest place in the world? They would say no, and it is not. It's in southeast Texas. It's flat, it's hot, but I can find pockets of beauty here. There's a park very close to my home. Our backyard is, I'm looking at it right now, is really, really beautiful. And so you have to build nature into your Monday through Friday life. And there's ways to do that. It can be as simple as buying a $3 a carnation bouquet every Sunday and planting that on your kitchen table. Of course, family time is particularly awesome on vacation. And I want to say that I had more quality time with my sons in 1 week than I probably had in 3 months living under the same roof, because we appreciate the time together. I love, love, love when my sons hold my hand when we're walking and they grab my hand. I love holding hands with my father and my husband. You know, just the value of touch is so important. So spending quality time with family, and there's no reason that we have to limit that. You know, we've eliminated the family meal practically from our lifestyle. I don't think that any of us would admit that there's anything beneficial about that. And I think you can program that into your Monday through Friday night, Friday day life. Perhaps it's not every single night that you have a family meal, but maybe, you know, Tuesday nights is the night that we have family meal. We limit practices, we limit commitments, and you know, I know when we were all living under one roof, Sundays were a big family meal, and we made it special. We ate in the fancy dining room every Sunday, that silly room that only gets used 3 times a year. Why don't you use that a couple times a week? So the family meal is really important, and I love that. We had some 2 and 3 hour meals that were just wonderful. You know, we held hands, we said grace, there was cloth napkins, we ate more slowly, we enjoyed the conversation. Can we get that into Monday through Friday life? So there's a lot of things on vacation that we don't have to just wait for that next vacation. And I would encourage you to have this discussion with your family. You know, what is it that you absolutely love about vacation that you can incorporate in Monday through Friday life? For me, it was, you know, I'm very good at practicing presence, but you get really good at it on vacation, just sitting quietly and staring off at a beautiful ocean and watching people, and just be mindful and at peace and not stressed out. There's something addictive about that. Why can't we incorporate that into our Monday through Friday life? So don't hate Mondays, because that's a choice that you're making, and it doesn't help anybody, in particular you. So this is what happened on this trip that I thought was a really, really good metaphor, and I want to close with this analogy. This trip had more seaweed in the Caribbean Ocean than we've ever seen in 30 years. Since we've been going to Cancun, and we've been at this resort for 22 years. And it was interesting. It was seaweed, and it was like the first, I'd say, 20 to 30 feet of the ocean. And it was a dense, thick seaweed. And in order to get out to the ocean, you had to, you know, crawl through it, swim through it. And there was a lot of people that made the decision not to go out in the ocean at all. But we went through it, and I noticed that when the seaweed got up onto the sand, on the white sand, it started to have an odor when it was getting dried out by the sun. And yet one morning we took a boat ride, and it picked us up on the beach, and just within, you know, a few yards of the ocean, that crystal clear turquoise water where you can see 30, 40, 50 feet down to the bottom of the ocean clearly was right there. And I thought, what a great metaphor for life. And it is this, that, you know, I view God as the ocean, and that we always want to be connected to our source. And I looked at seaweed as, you know, potentially the trials and tribulations, which we know we're going to have. The Bible tells us that we will have trials and tribulations, and we all know that. That life, a good life, a happy life, doesn't mean it's a problem-free life. But if all we do is just focus on that seaweed, and we separate from our source, our God, our ocean, then the seaweed can really start to smell. And interestingly enough, on our final morning, we took a long couple-mile walk, my husband and I, and some of the Mexican workers for the resorts, of course, they were trying to rake up all the seaweed, but some of the smarter ones had dug a gully, or like a trough, from the beach to the ocean, so that the ocean water could come up the trough and kind of mix with the seaweed and then bring it back into the ocean. And I thought, isn't that what we need? Don't we need a trough in order to stay connected to our God and to our source, so that it can mix with the seaweed, it can mix with the trials and tribulations and the so-called problems that we have in our life, and then always bring us back to the source. And also, by just going 10 or 20 feet, by going out into the deep, that's where I found God. That's where I found this beautiful turquoise water. And I just thought that was a metaphor. It's certainly talked about throughout the Bible, about going into the deep and staying connected to our source, whatever spiritual practice that you follow, that we know that we have to stay connected to God. And so when I come back on my Monday through Friday life, I get right back into my routine of my hour of power, of my prayer and my meditation, because I know no matter what happens in life, as long as I continue to stay connected to God and my source, that life's going to be good and it's going to be okay. And that my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday life, my everyday existence is just as blessed. Maybe not as incredible as vacations are, but it's still pretty darn awesome. So that's this week's A Dose from Dr. Denise. I hope you had some application with it. Have an awesome week and a blessed week, and I'll talk to you next Sunday. Peace out.